Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Dear brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today we want to continue again with chapter 28 and get the insights, get the lessons and the reflections in this book. Please, brothers and sisters, if you like the video, please hit the like button. We can that message can go forward, that message can spread, people can share the video with their groups, with the people who know. Brothers and sisters, the content which we are presenting in this platform or in this channel is educational, and it's another understanding, it's a great understanding to the Quran and how the Quran can reform your life and change you. So please don't be stingy. Put the like button, and please go ahead and share that video. Dear brothers and sisters, today we want to continue with the story of Moses, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He have turned the attention to the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And he's talking to the Prophet ﷺ, and he's telling him that one of the signs that you, O Muhammad, was sent to the humanity as a messenger, that the Quran, what is the Quran is detailing, what is the Quran is referencing to, what is the Quran is conveying, you have no knowledge about. You never went to Egypt. You never went to the Sinai Peninsula. You were never did so any of that. ولكن Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is قضينا إلى موسى الأمر. We have give Musa the kitab. We have give Musa the order to go to the Pharaoh. We have given Musa the order to go and challenge the tyranny of the Pharaoh. وما كنت من الشاهدين. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he met Moses again and he gave the 10 commandments after this, after Moses parted the Red Sea, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have met Moses at the mountain of Tur to give him what? The 10 commandments. That's another thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Oh Muhammad, you weren't a witness over there. You didn't see this. But these details I'm giving you because you have the truth. You have the Quran. You have the haqq, which is bringing." Another sign of Muhammad alayhi salam never traveled. Maybe one time when he was young to Syria or Sham or whatever. Other than that, he was in that area of Mecca right now. Never go anywhere else. Dear brothers and sisters, one of the very important facts Allah will highlight in the next verse is something very important. وَلَكِنَّ أَنْشَأْنَا قُرُونًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning that after a while, after the 10 commandments being given to the Moses, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Muslims the same thing. After I give you that book, the Quran, what will happen? People will take فَتَطَاوَلَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْعُمُرُ. People will take, the time will pass. People will forget. People will try to change things. People will try to have other and false deities with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَتَطَاوَلَ عَلَيْهُمْ الْعُمُرُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a Muslim who is born as a Muslim, brothers and sisters, he take the religion as something which is not important for him. He does the rituals, the prayers, as if he's just signing a piece of paper without even reading that paper. You know, when somebody gives you a contract to read it, go through it, so you know what you're signing. But because of the religion has been inherited with over time, people just sign off. You go to prayer, he prays like 1, 2, 3, 4, as if he's making squads or something. And you go to the acts of kindness, smiling and gentleness, people don't even make it anymore. Brothers and sisters, the problem which Muslims have and Islam has can be deducted in one phrase. is misunderstanding of Islam, misunderstanding of the Quran. And the misunderstanding is this book have been sent down to rule the earth. This book is not sent down to be like a song. I see people who came in from Pakistani and Bengali and Egyptians and Saudi and all these kind of cultures. They think this book is a book which I need to memorize. I think this book I need to repeat without understanding the insight, without understanding the guidance in that book. Unfortunately, this is the big misconception. You need to memorize, just memorize what you're going to pray with. But that book, you need to investigate. You need to go deep in it. You need to understand what is this book is talking about, how this book can change my life, how this book can change how I'm going to interact with others. But all these hallucinations, in terms of me reading a book over and over, not understanding a single word, this is all hallucinations, brothers and sisters. This book came down to rule. This is the Constitution. Somebody can come and memorize the whole Constitution of the United States, and without understanding how you can apply the Constitution, the difficult part of the constitutional amendments and the constitutional rights is when you apply those in reality. That's why there is a Supreme Court, and that Supreme Court, there is a debate to how you apply those amendments. It's not just to memorize the Constitution, it's in the book, brothers and sisters. So this is what we need to understand. When the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ meant alifun, the famous hadith, when you read the Quran, alifun harf, like the A is a letter and B is a letter, and so you get reward. It's for people who understand the language, people who have the clean heart, people who the time didn't contaminate their heart. Their heart is clean and pure and can understand the insight in that book. So we need to get out of that misconceptions that, oh, I need to memorize this and this and this, I'm going to Jannah, I will be in paradise. No, you're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere if you memorize the whole book. And I'm telling you this. You go into the paradise if you understand this book, apply this book in your life, and try to spread the guidance in this book around you. That's when you can claim paradise. Other than that, you're just a student who memorize, but when the real exam, real test happen, you're going to fail. Because this is what's happening, brothers and sisters. Nowadays, if you go to the exams, anywhere in a college and university, they want a student who can apply the material. Again, apply the material. Not to somebody who memorized the material. The instructor, the faculty, the universities, the work environment doesn't need you to memorize the textbooks and come telling them the text. No. They want you to understand how I'm going to apply these textbooks in reality. And if what you are memorizing or what you're learning in the college cannot be applied in reality, you're not going to have a job. Because everybody wants the reality. And this is one of the reasons why Islam declined and is going to keep declining until these scholars, until these people who have that traditional way of thinking reform or change. Now, the whole concept of, or a whole picture or image of somebody who is a scholar wearing thawb or wearing a jilbab or wearing a long, having a beard and sitting on a chair, big fat, have a big belly. This is how any person who doesn't, like when you talk about Islamic scholar, brother and sister, Islam has no dress code. As far as you covering, the parts need to be covered in terms of awra, we call it awra, which is covered. You can wear whatever anybody else wearing, a shirt. There's no, you don't have to wear that jilbab. Some people come to the show, you have to cover you. There is nothing like that. Don't, and this is a big misconceptions. Get out of these shackles, which you were inherited from a wrong tradition. That's why Islam is keep going down. Again, when it came to the 1600s, printing press came up to copy books, make books, make books, make books. Muslims at that time, they said, oh, that doesn't agree with Islamic law. They don't understand. They didn't understand how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is realistic, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants his people or his religion, people who believe in him, to be on the top. So they said, no, we're not going to implement the printing press. Then who took the books of the Muslims? The Europeans. They make copies and copies and copies in science, in medicine, in mathematics, in astrology, in astronomy, everything. And then the one who built their civilization on the Islamic civilization. And the Islamic civilization declined and went into ruins. Dear brothers and sisters, we need to understand Islam came to change, a practical change. And with the way which a lot of people have in their mind, that the wrong understanding, you're not going to go nowhere. You're not going to know nowhere. You have to understand. And one of the understanding, ask why. Ask why. Why I'm doing this. Why I'm doing this. Ask yourself when you go in the morning, why I go to the work in the morning? You know why, yes? To get a paycheck at the end of the week. Yes? Exactly. So if you don't understand why you go and pray in the mosque, if you go, why you do your prayers, you're not going to do it. And this is what's happening. You see the youth, a decline, a huge decline of how our youth deal with Islam, deal with the Quran, deal with La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasul, because you don't understand it. They, all generations, the people who came as immigrants from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Egypt, and all these Arab peninsula, they came here with the wrong understanding. It's not, this understanding is not agreeing with their realistic way of living in the Western society. That's why the kids, the youth, are going away, leaving that deen, leaving that religion, and going somewhere else where is more realistic to them, where is talking about reality and practicality. Once Islam come up with the practical and the truth and the right explanations, you'll see people are coming back to practice that religion. And this is where Islam will spread like fire. Dear brothers and sisters, a very important thing, we have to act practically. The whole world, every nation, they do, they work. They think, I need things, reality. I need practice. That's just what it is. We cannot have our Islamic notions. Oh, memorize the Quran, you're going to Jannah. Memorize the Quran, Hadith, you're going to Jannah. No, this is not. You have to. Islam came to be acted upon. Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam was the walking Quran. What that mean? His character, his actions, his interactions with others was Quran. That is where we want to. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.